So I've done a review recently on Tom Cruise's The Mummy movie. I then did a review on the 1999 Mummy movie, and then as I was on the roll and I've got the box set, I then thought, oh no, I shall watch The Mummy Returns and have a chat about that as well. So The Mummy Returns. This was a film from 2001, and basically they've got the band back together again. So we have Brendan Fraser kind of being that charmy, plucky, shoot first, ask questions later kind of lead character. He's very good, very funny, enjoyed him. We've got Rachel Weisz is back again, and she's not only clever this time, but she's a lot more feisty, a lot more interesting things going on with her character. John Hannah, pretty much doing exactly the same as he did before, being that sort of comedy psychic foil to both of those guys, and a little bit of light relief throughout the movie, and he's got good comic timing, so that works well. We've also got Arnold Vosloo back again as well, and he is the Mummy. They've taken him out of the ground, dug him up, taken him to London. It's now 10 years after the first film, so we're set in 1935, and they're resurrecting the Mummy, and whoosh, there we go again with the new story. We've got most of the gang back. In fact, I think pretty much, apart from the ones that got killed, they're all pretty much back for a new romp across London and Egypt and those sort of far off Middle Eastern places with an exotic history and mummies and spooky stuff going on. We've also got The Rock in this one, and he plays the Scorpion King. And I think one of the clear differences between this movie and what we had in 1999 is that there are a whole lot more bad guys in this. So we've still got the Mummy, but we've also got sort of lots of henchmen to the Mummy. We've got the people that tried to resurrect the Mummy, and that's a whole group of people. And there's like a sort of absolute opposite to Rachel Weisz's character. She's got, you know, there's a I don't want to do any spoilers, but there's a whole thing going on there. That's quite interesting. And we've also got pygmies and all sorts of other little things going on. So there's a whole wealth of bad guys to sort of, you know, battle against, which makes it, you know, gives it a bit more scale and a bit more scope, and it's not just the same thing regurgitated 2 years later. We have got the same director, Stephen Sommers, and it's got a slightly bigger budget. So we're now up to $98 million. But again, this is 2001, so I haven't done the sums to work out what that equates to in modern day figures. Really, the film, it's like they try to take the original movie and turn it up to 11. So we've got more action, we've got more monsters, we've got more bad guys. And mostly, this all works pretty well. So if you want that kind of action romp with lots of stuff happening and guns firing and stuff there and a mummy coming in there who gets a punch in the face and there's all this kind of stuff happening, then you're going to enjoy this, because that is a lot of this film. There is a lot of visual stuff going on. Yeah, the visual effects, 2001, they're not as good as what we've got today. Mostly they stack up pretty well, and mostly the whole thing kind of flows and goes, and it's lots of fun and it's all very enjoyable. However, it's not all fairy tales and unicorns. There are a few things that don't quite hit the mark. So I think one of them is that they basically tried maybe to do a tad too much. There's so many characters and so much going on and so many more monsters. Some of the little bits of dialogue and banter that we had in the first one don't really have so much of that in the second one. There are a few moments, but there's less of them. And I think the film is less rich for it. It's those little moments. It's all great having lots of wonderful explosions and stuff happening, all the rest of it, but you don't want that to be the whole film. You also want these little human bits of interaction which kind of just give a film a bit more variety, a bit more of an interest, a bit more of a human side. It has a little bit, but not as much as the first one. The other thing is, I think we've got to say, is it's definitely a bit more cheesy. There are definitely moments where you thought, oh, yeah, that's super cheesy. I don't know if the story's kind of bigger, but the script didn't feel quite so tight. So yeah, it's not bad. It's still quite pretty reasonable, but not. It just didn't grab you quite so much. To be frank, if you didn't like the first Mummy movie, you're not going to like this one. If you did like the first Mummy movie, chances are you'll love this one. For me, it was very close in terms of how good it is to the 1999, but not quite. So for me, it's a 4-star movie, still a good romp, still really enjoyable, still a great film to watch of an evening after a long day at work. If you like the first one, you're gonna love this. It's still highly entertaining. And if you like a good Indiana Jones type film, you're gonna like this. There's much to like. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's still fun. And with that, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.